Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope on this recorded Monday edition here of the program. I got plenty to talk about today. Steve Kerr may be leaving the Golden State Warriors, remembering the legendary John Sterling passed away. Thoughts and prayers with his family. 87-year-old former Yankees play-by-play announcer passed away this morning. Thoughts and prayers with him. I'll have a clip from him a little bit later in the program this morning. Pistons complete the three-game comeback. So did the Philadelphia 76ers. Does Denver need to blow the team up completely, including Joker? We'll talk about that and more. Stand by. We'll take our quick first and only break. I'll be back here momentarily. Hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then, here we go. Let me make sure and put this chair up here. Here we go. Holla when you hear me flow. All right, so we'll start off here. Pistons complete the 3-1 comeback over the Magic. Over the Magic last night, even though they did not have Frank Wagner since game 4, one of their leading scorers there for the Orlando Magic. Looks like this has propelled the Magic this morning to fire coach Jamal Mosley. Now, the Magic were an 8 seed. They've been in the playoffs here, I want to say, each of the seasons. He spent 5 seasons with this team, and they went to the playoffs three in a row, resulting in all first-round exits there. Remember, they brought in Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies in the offseason there. It was a big acquisition. You got Wagner, and you got I forgot the guy's name now, but the leading scorer there, who he's been great the whole series, Panacho or whatever his name is, doesn't make any difference. You could tell since 2024, they're a surging team. They're a young surging team in the playoffs here. A few Game 7 losses there, blew a 3-1 lead this time. They were just an 8 seed in a down year where Boston had injuries most of the year. But you've had injuries to Indiana, and it was their opportunity. They didn't do it. They didn't meet it. They barely got in as an 8 seed. This seems like a situation where I'll talk about a little bit later, like where Steve Kerr comes in, okay, where he comes in and takes over for a team that was a playoff team but couldn't get past it. They need a coach to get them to that next level, per se. So like maybe a Billy Donovan or somebody who has a reputation down in Florida, won a few national championships with Florida, went pretty far with OKC. Somebody like that. We'll see what happens. I think it is a pretty desirable job there. I think his name is Pivia, whatnot. Their leading star there, with Wagner there, with Bang there, with the young bench there, with a lot of shooters there. Look to be the better team most of the time against Detroit. Detroit's a little grittier, a little deeper. Detroit lacks scoring, but they were a 60-win team. They did get to the and listen, on Detroit's side of this thing, I want to say NBA.com put this out on their social media site on the Facebook. The Pistons win Game 7, become the 15th team to win the series after trailing 3-1, advance to the Eastern Conference Final for the first time since 2008. That goes back to the, I want to say, the tail end of the Ben Wallace group there with Chauncey Billups and whatnot. So kudos to them. Kudos to them. And their coach probably may have been in trouble as well if they would have lost this series. And now they've got a good matchup against Cleveland, who also won a Game 7. Although they kind of limped in there. We'll see how that plays out. And I do think that Detroit will win that series, per se. Okay. Detroit definitely, that being said, they definitely need more scores there. Cunningham can't do it all. It's hard to just win on gritty defense. But it was a great comeback the other night. It was a great comeback the other night, Friday night, for Detroit as well. So, but going back to Orlando, I think it's a desirable job, and we'll see how it plays out. I do think when you got that kind of talent in an area like Orlando, good weather, not the biggest market. I mean, you're the only show in town, actually, in Orlando. So we'll see if they call Donovan. I think Billy Donovan will likely be one of the first candidates that they call. All righty then. Going back to Saturday, Boston blows 3-1 lead. Joel Embiid, great game, 34 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. Even though he looked like he was hobbling a little bit. You compare him to Boston's center there, folks. You compare him to I was kind of rushing this morning here, putting this all together. Boston center that was listed as a starter, Luke Garza, 0 points, 0 rebounds, and no assists. Mind you that Vucevic, the center they acquired in the offseason, I want to say he's been hurt for a while. That's really hurt them. Of course, there was a late scratch by Jason Tatum. But that being said, I mean, they took 49 threes Saturday night, hitting them only 27% compared to a 39% for Philadelphia. They're the most three-point addicted team I've ever seen in the history of this game. Probably more than the Golden State Warriors, the team that really, with the Splash Brothers, with the Klay Thompson, and of course the Steph Currys of the world, with those guys, when it really became fashionable, take that many three-point shots. Joe Mazzulla, although I know that you've had some injuries there, and of course Tatum, we didn't think Tatum was going to come back from that Achilles. Leg was bothering him, didn't want him to re-aggravate and tear the other Achilles. That you got to get out of that addiction to the three ball. If it's not, the old adage when I was growing up in the 90s, live by, die by a three. That's still true today, you know? I think Shaq said at the halftime of one of these games, the next person that takes a three, I'm going to punch him in the face. I don't know if he's talking about this particular game. I caught him on the tail end of one of his on the broadcast. Because he comes from the air. Hey, listen, if it's not falling, let's get inside and get to the hole. Maybe they didn't have anybody this particular time around. Maybe Mazzulla will get a pass because of the injuries. But they've got to do something about this three-point addiction that they have in the Boston Celtics. So that being said, I don't think for the 76ers sake, and for basketball's sakes, you want Embiid to play. You want him and Towns to battle it out in this next series. And by the way, kudos to New York. When we were leaving the program last night, they're up by like 40-something, 50-something points. A dominant performance, coming together at the right time. Thought that this may be a clear path. Mentioned that the other day for them, or that be against Boston. It's been the allergy seasons here, folks, and they're getting the best of me. It's May the 4th here. and the allergies are running wild. So my thoughts and prayers with everybody else that's got allergies here in the Middle Tennessee area. That being said, okay, so let's see if Embiid can hold up against Karl Anthony Towns. I still think New York's the better team. I don't think he will be able to hold up. I hope he holds up for the sake of seeing a good series here. You know, with the Maxey and the Paul George versus a Brunson, Mitch Robertson, Josh Hart, and of course Towns. This could be a great series, though. But I'll definitely give the edge to New York in 6 to win that particular series. If New York don't get out of their own way and also become 2-3 ball dependent, and they've got the size not to do that. They can get inside and keep Towns inside and get that ball inside. They have a tremendous opportunity to get back to the finals, I want to say, for the first time since 1999, where they lost to the Spurs in the shortened season that year. Okay. Also, since I talked to you Thursday with the Mad New Yorker, Nuggets could not beat a team minus 3 players. Dante DiVincenzo, of course, Anthony Edwards was out as well. That's the big one for Minnesota. And I want to say they had another player here, an off-the-bench player, Ayo Dosunmu. I think he's a guy that had like 40-something points. And one of the other games that beat them the other night. Either way, they lose double digits again to Minnesota. There's such an athletic disparity there and lack of defense. I want to say it was Daniels that called them out and said, hey, none of them play defense. You know, none of them play defense. He talked about them. And I know Aaron Gordon didn't play in this particular game. Everything is on the table. Mike Malone was not the problem. The fired coach there that's now the North Carolina Tar Heels head coach. Looks like that he was not the problem. So the team, Aaron Gordon's got to be on the trade block, Jamal Murray. And I will say this, a lot of people's not going to say this. If the right offer comes, you should want to deal Joker. Okay, I know he'll be 32 in February, but the problem is you probably won't get that right offer. My definition of a right offer, of course, you have to find a way to make these, probably have to get another team involved to make these salaries all match up and everything. But you would have to get something, for example, of a young rising player, a promising young player with another starter, with a draft pick, for example, like a Cooper Flagg or somebody with Dallas, get a young player of that stature. Of course, why would Dallas do that? They want to build around Cooper Flagg as well. But something of that nature, if you want to deal, and then another key starter and a draft pick, possibly to build to trade a Joker. Now, people say, well, that ain't enough. That's my whole point. You probably just can't get enough for Joker. But even Murray, I would not have said Murray before. But you got to do something. I didn't like the coaching in this. I said this after game one. I said I did not like the scheme. I didn't like the scheme for game one. Even when they won that first game, I said, man, these guys, it's too much. Jamal Murray dribble around Joker, playing too much two-man game and not enough five-man offense there. I think you need more of a fluid offense, more of a rotational type. Matter of fact, they need a Steve Kerr, which I'll talk about here in a minute. That's what they really need. They need a coach like that to coach these guys up, and they need 2 or 3 more athletic players on the wing there, some younger, more athletic players, and a little bit more bench help there, per se. So the roster just does not add up. It does not flow well together. Joker said it the other day. You could tell they're getting frustrated. He didn't want to go too much into it because he says people will get fired and all that stuff. But they're a team to watch here in the offseason. Same with Giannis there in Milwaukee. Giannis a little older. But that being said, they're going to be an interesting team to follow. They can't run it back per se, and hope that they don't draw a Minnesota team who every year Minnesota seems to mail it in, maybe because Anthony Edwards, you hear the reports about his personal life and all the wives or the girlfriends, the baby's mamas and all that. But they kind of mail it in, Minnesota, during the regular season and want to turn it on in the playoffs. Well, the problem with that is you got that bad seed and you wear down trying to beat these higher seeds to go on the road and win all these games. So I expect them to get totally demolished in the next round. Of course, they've got injuries now, of course, but in the next round against San Antonio as well. But everything would be on the table with the right offer. Yes, I would move Joker and totally rebuild there in Denver. Probably not going to get that offer. I can't even imagine getting that offer. And I was trying to think about it this morning as I was preparing for the program, and actually since Thursday when they got eliminated from the playoffs. I thought maybe they could beat Minnesota, and they would have been a good matchup for Wemby because they played them really well in the regular season. But that is not going to happen. Minnesota's going to play, and that's probably going to be a 4 or 5 game, if that, 4 or 5 game series there with San Antonio. Same thing with, hey, Lakers, kudos. You got the win over a Houston team there. You're a little banged up, but you're going to play OKC. OKC's rested, young, and ready to go. Looks like Luka's not going to come back. He might not come back this series. He's not close to even running yet. So it looks like they're going to get ran through as well. They'll get ran through as well by OKC. So then that's the matchup right there. OKC and San Antonio. Can OKC have a better game plan against the Spurs than they did during the regular season, in which they were 1-3 against? That's what we'd be looking forward to, okay, in the playoffs as we speak. Speaking of coaches, I mentioned Steve Kerr earlier. He's being recruited. Possibly he's in the last year of his contract here. Nothing's came out. Something can come out here as of Monday morning. Nothing's came out yet, but something could come out with him possibly here any time now, any moment, even as we speak, for him just to lead the Golden State Warriors. He's been there since 2014. He's won his championships there. I mentioned that before. He's got that 10-year mark. I mentioned that about Sean McVay, Bill Walsh there. 10 years, management, players, everybody starts to get tired of you. Management said, there was reports from The Athletic and ESPN, and I said this, that he should stop talking politics. You're going to alienate half your fan base. They were growing tired of it. I thought ownership of all, 30 teams now in the NBA, all of them should say, hey, listen, I know Greg Popovich is semi-retired anyways. He's not really in the public light anymore now, although he's behind the scenes with after his stroke, of course, and nothing bad to happen to him. But before that, he was really heavily political and everything. People don't want to hear these lectures. Even if it's about politics, I don't want you alienating half the fan base if I'm the ownership or management. That report came out a few weeks ago. Then Steve Kerr also said the other day that, he regrets not criticizing China for the Hong Kong issue going back a few years. Reacted, kind of played dumb, and it looked stupid. The fact that he was playing dumb because he wants a lecture on everything else. But, he says he didn't want to get any blowback from the NBA. Well, you shouldn't stay. If you stay out of it all around, you don't have to go back and say that. I'm not privy to talk about that. Have come up with some type of answer of that nature would have been my advice. But he says that he regrets not speaking up on that. And like I said, with the reports about him not talking. But that being said, basketball-wise, Draymond Green's age, Steph Curry's age, this is a 3 to 5 year rebuild project in the waiting. Why sit through that? He's a young 60. Like I said, a McVay or somebody should do like a Sean Payton talking about the football people. Step away for a year, maybe 2. ESPN's recruiting you already. Love to hear the guys basketball. He's a good basketball mind, you know. Do that for a year or two. Listen, maybe a college team comes recruit. I think he went to like Arizona or something. They got a good coach. But that being said, maybe the college, like Mike Malone, maybe a college team recruits him and say, hey, listen, we would kind of like because it's kind of like a pros type of situation here. If Mike Malone finds success in North Carolina with the NIL being very transactional now, it's more administrative. It's just pure coaching. He'd be coaching older players as well. I think he'd be good for college. Sit down for about a year or two, come back at 62, refreshed, and he would be a value, maybe the right NBA situation or the right college situation. That would be a new challenge for him. Give it to young guys. A situation like that would be good for Steve Kerr's a very good coach. My criticism of him doing the political extras aside, that guy's very good. I like the way his team plays, defense, rebounding, passing. You could tell he learned under Phil Jackson about ball movement and everything. Uses some of that triangle offense, the way they move the ball around the top of the key with the Draymond, Clay, and Steph back in the day. Very good coach there, good basketball mind. But I would my thing is definitely walk away now from the Warriors. It's growing thin there. You can tell with the complaints of his political stuff. Plus, they're going through another rebuild, and you don't know if you're going to get the right players. It seems almost inedible. It seems like a no-brainer to walk away from Golden State right now. Quite frankly, I would have walked away after 22 when you won that championship. You had the players in their early 30s at that time. You could tell it was growing a little thin there. I would have walked away on top and stepped down for the remainder of my contract otherwise, where Golden State didn't have any more of my rights. And then I would have came back and picked my job as well on my own, of course, where the team wouldn't have to trade or whatever, kind of like the Sean Payton situation with, I want to say with Denver, where they had to give some kind of compensation there to get Sean Payton out of the New Orleans situation there, because he was still under contract, even though he had not coached and retired for a year. So, okay, on a sad note there, John Sterling, he had been there, legendary former Yankees radio play-by-play guy. I thought he had been there longer than 36 years. From 1989 to 2024, when the Yankees were just a pretty crappy team, average team. In the 90s, we saw what they became with Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and that group where they were, Steinbrenner really got the mojo going for that team there in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, where they had the dynasty run there, passed away today. He called 5,631 games, including a remarkable streak of 5,060 consecutive games from 89-19. Yeah, you heard that right, folks. 30 straight years. He retired April 24, but returned to call their 24 postseason run. Not a Yankees fan, like I said there on social media, but I got a lot of respect for this guy. Loved his calls. The Yankees win, the Yankees win. Calls there. Matter of fact, I got a clip off of TikTok of him when they won their third straight World Series. Like I said, I hated the Yankees. Still don't really care for them, but love this guy's energy, love his style. John Sterling, listen.
These are 1 out away from another World Championship. Now Rivera is set. And the 0-1 swung on, hit in the air to deep center. Bernie back, away back. He's there. He makes the catch. Ball game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. The New York Yankees have once again reached the summit of the sports world. They've won their third straight championship, fourth in the last 5 years, and 26th all-time. the most successful team in the history of professional sports. Starting the new millennium, the New York Yankees are once again world champions.
And mind you, folks, they were in Game 7 to win a 4th championship, if not for Curt Schilling, Randy Johnson. Remember, that went down to the bottom of the 9th the very next year. What a run that Yankees group went on. And, of course, John Sterling, 87, passed away this morning. I don't think they had a cause of death, but he will be remembered as one of the great, in all the sports, radio play-by-play commentators. Want to end the show with that. Folks, have a happy Monday. Have a good week. I'll be back here probably live Thursday with the match. I could do something between now and then if somebody wants to do a program. And folks, I'm working my butt off to get back to doing this show Monday through Friday, but we just had some financial issues to take care of. But either way, I'll be back live Thursday. I can assure you that, with or without the Mad New Yorker, but he's pretty consistent about showing up. We'll talk about maybe a little John Sterling and some of this week's biggest topics, including the Knicks, if they cannot blow this tremendous opportunity that we've been talking about over the past few weeks here. So have a good Monday. I'll see you then. If you like the show, please share the show. Please subscribe to all my YouTube, Spotify, you name it. Follow me. I'm verified on Facebook and the X app there, formerly known as Twitter. You can follow me there as well. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you, folks. Have a good one. I'll see you then here